Welcome back to the Alternative Highs podcast, the number one podcast in Southwestern Ontario. Today's podcast is a little different. Didn't book a guest. Thought I would do a solo flight. Had no clue what I was going to talk about. So I asked a young man who's very inquisitive, is always asking about questions about my life. I thought I would get him to write me some and I would just answer them in front of y'all. And maybe some of y'all had the same questions. These by no means are the right, wrong. It was just the way I did things, This podcast, I started because, when I got into a car accident and broke my back and had a severe spinal cord injury, it was a really lonely time. It's a very niche market, if you will. None of my friends have that, and it's hard to relate. And I went down some really bad paths. I overdosed. I got 2 death tags on my foot because I've died a couple times here. Life is really, really difficult, and without people talking about it and mental health, the struggles of life, addictions, all the crazy things that you throw into life to just fuck up your life is really easy to do. So I asked I have a very close relationship with my doctor who helped me, and hopefully I can set that interview up here very shortly because he's a great interview, brings a lot to the table. But I asked his son because he's very inquisitive. They've been a part of my life for the last 7 years since me and their father met, and they're a big part of Alternative Highs. This movement is going to be big. I'm hoping that we can make some change. That's all I really want. I just want to help people better their lives. So I asked him to give me some questions. So he sent me some pretty good questions. First question was there a specific moment when you realized you were in trouble, or did it sneak up on you gradually? Fuck. I've been in trouble so many times. I'm going to assume that we are talking about when it went from recreational drug use to full-blown addict. And that happened shortly after the spinal cord injury. Once I was done my time in the hospital, learning how to life again after your legs are taken. Obviously, I walk around, but you still got to learn how to do things a little differently now, as to not hurt yourself more. And that's a daunting project. It's not what anybody really wants. And let me just quickly, it's better than being stuck in a bed like I was. So I'm very grateful that though it's extremely difficult, it could be much worse. So when I got out of the hospital and there's no more of the the craziness that is the hospital setting, the nursing home setting, the wildness of people just walking in and through your room just to, see how you're doing. It was when it got really quiet and I was alone by myself, and I just went back to that recreational. I had been in the hospital 6 months, hadn't touched anything, booze or anything, and I the pain pills, the all the pills to help with anxiety and the depression and sleeping. It was just so much that I found that drinking and doing some drugs was the moment that I could get all of that into the enjoying. It wasn't enjoyable. It became, you know, like clockwork to pick up a bottle of vodka, to grab a ball of snow. Um, and it quickly went from recreational to, oh shit, you have a massive problem. How are you going to afford this? What are you, how do you keep this going? And when you put a crafty person in a corner, they'll craft a pretty crafty plan. And I had the plug move in with me, and my place quickly became the house where everything went down. And when you're supplying that, you get supplied this. So it was a very big problem. And inevitably, when you make those two worlds come together and you have everybody in and out, it quickly becomes a trap. And your house gets raided, and you learn the hard way that that was a stupid move. My house got raided, and that's when I knew, but it wasn't until a month or so after, when I OD'd, when I realized things have got to change. I keep getting lucky. I keep living through situations that I should not be living through. I am like a cat with 9 lives here. And it was shortly after the OD that I started taking things a little more seriously. And that was that oh shit moment. Great question. How did it feel to be told you'd never walk again? Uh, Fuck. Just reading that's a lot. Um, so I was sitting with my parents, uh, screaming because I had just had a surgery and I was not handling it well. And you kind of know things when you can't feel your legs. And when they said that, obviously my world came crumbling down around me. You know, I taken for granted my entire life the fact that I could walk, run, skate, rollerblade, bicycle. I'd taken it for granted for so long. And it's only until you get something taken away from you where you realize, fuck, I really wish that I would have been a little more put together. I wish I would have done a little bit more. It's always the I wish I would have done more, which is, you know, when I got everything back, not everything, when I could do it again, there's no holding back. I I went to the wall. I guess I didn't go to the wall right away. That's kind of a funny way to word it. So just to put a little context, the moment I sobered up and cleaned up, I went ham into, these cats are both just trying to show their love to the camera. I went ham. Like, I started walking, then I started biking, then I swam across the bay. Then it kept it. When you lose something and it comes back to you, maybe not a 100%, you have a whole new love for it. I don't know if that was a great answer or not, but I got a little emotional, and I got taken away. Next question. What was the moment or series of moments that made you decide to change your life? How did your mindset shift after the accident and your diagnosis? What role did my dad play in your recovery and transformation? Great question. So I think I answered it with that last one, like OD'd. When you when you have that moment and you get to live through that moment, um, you've got a choice to make. You can either continue down that same path where inevitably you're gonna likely shit the bed and die, or you can take that path that's that's hard. It's really fucking hard to do, but they say it's worth it, and I can confirm it is indeed worth it. Um, so this is a complex question. So my mindset went right from how was I gonna get my next line, how was I gonna get my next bottle, to how am I gonna get to the next day. Everything is the next day in sobriety. It's always, if you set yourself up for these crazy goals while you're freshly sober, perhaps you're going to fail yourself. And again, this is just my opinion. Um, Perhaps you'll set yourself up for failure because getting too high of expectations, and like by all means, if you want that, go for that, shoot for that. So myself, I started small, and then I like in the first 3 months of sobriety, and people in the first little bit of sobriety, things are a little different. I had been going since I was, 14 years old. I had skipped a whole bunch of parts of life, and I was learning things, in my mid 30s that all my friends had known as teenagers. So it was, it's a lot. So in the first 3 months, I was like, wow, shit, let's teach everybody how to sober up. I'm the, it, it's like you're the first person to do it sort of thing, you know? And it was a humbling moment when I was like, you know what? I'm going to step back. I need to, I need some credibility because 3 months isn't shit. And as far as I'm concerned, nobody's going to believe it. And I wanted to help. The whole thing was always to help somebody because being stuck in that hospital bed and just being stuck, I knew that that landscape needed to change. I wish there was somebody there that I could have chatted with or had a moment with. And, there's all kinds of self-help and inspirational videos, but it's a lot different when you're in that situation. And then, you morph into addiction and alcoholism and all this other stuff. So it's a lot to handle, and it's not for the faint-hearted. Um, this is a great question. What role did my dad play in the recovery? So I met Jody July of 2018. And to say that that was the biggest game changer would be the understatement of the century. He absolutely saved my life. He's my best friend. He's the guy. I walked into his office high, drunk, reeking of cigarettes. For a solid month, we had to have a couple conversations because he's like, there's all kinds of people that want your space in the office, and if you're not going to show up and if you're not going to do this, there's really no point. And I had been feeling little bits of change, and I decided, I'll go all in with this. So July 5th, I met him. August 17th, I had completely cold turkey went sober. Okay, hold up a second, because I don't want to insult people that are sober. I went California sober. I still use cannabis. Um, you know, it is my pain band-aid. It is my mental health. It acts as a lot of different things instead of all the pills that I was on, because I dropped all the pills when I dropped the booze and the drugs and the prescription pills. So I brought in marijuana, and that has been my band-aid. Great question. Uh, Recovery isn't just physical. How did you mentally heal to continue to push through your challenges? So that one is easy. Putting yourself in uncomfortable situations. For me, I found that exercise was how I kept my mental straight. So jumping in the lake in January and riding my bike through storms, and always putting myself in that really awful, awkward situation made my mind, my mental, just impenetrable. But like, don't get me wrong, I still have really hard days, tough days. I'm full of anxiety. I have a day here or there where my depression sneaks up on me, and you know PTSD is real. I'm not gonna pretend like I've escaped all these, but the good days by far outlast the bad days these days, which I can say 100%. Cycling, strength training, going for walks, anything fitness usually can bring me back to a whole again. And it's so cliche, and I tell it to everybody. People sometimes roll their eyes, sometimes they go balls deep into their fitness, and they're like, oh yeah, I see what you're talking about. It's not something I made up, it's something that's a proven scientific fact. So fitness saved my mental health. It was started out with, 5 kilometer walks, morphed into swimming and cycling, and I strength train. And the greatest thing that I ever did for myself was get myself a gym membership and get myself back into exercising. It's extremely important, and anybody that says that they can do it any other way, by all means, get it done. Do it whatever way works for you. For me, fitness. If somebody is listening and struggling with addiction or recovery, what would you say to them? Oh, only you can sober up. Only you can help yourself. Your family, your friends, they obviously want you to have that change, but the moment it's forced on you, obviously you're gonna go harder into the paint. It's really fucking hard. It's not going to be easy, but you are 100% worth it, and you can 100% do this. It's hard work. It's not fun in the beginning, but the payoff is monumental. Life will get better, and that I can promise you. Oh, how important is it to have someone believe in you, and how can others be watching, be that person? It's important that the people that you have around you during your time of it are supportive. It's important that they have zero judgment. They don't understand. It's hard what you're going through. People will have an opinion that you're just gonna have to bypass and just keep your eye on that finish line. It's the journey there, and it's the hardest part about it. Surround yourself with greatness, and your life can be great. It's hard work. It's not easy, but I promise you, like I just said, you're worth it. And that lifestyle far exceeds my past lifestyle. I had everybody around me. I had this, that. It was all just fake, though. It wasn't real. This life that I'm living now is powerful. It's life changing. And I feel like there's so much more we can do if we work together, if we help each other. So it's having a supportive group around you. And these are all super easy answers, and they're the ones that you expect. It's really that easy. And it's just hard work. It's getting to that next day. So I think with that being said, that is the end of the questions, and it is. Um, Peeps, this wasn't my typical podcast. I enjoyed doing that way. Perhaps having him come on and ask those questions might have been fun. But I look forward to the next podcast.